Paul, thank you very much for joining us following the dramatic win over Lancashire yesterday. Have you caught your breath yet?
Yeah, very special performance, Scotty. 4 days of really good hard cricket on a wonderful batting pitch at Worcester. The way the guys stuck to the task, the discipline was just, we talked about doing the basics well for long periods of time at the start of the year, and this was just outstanding performance. Everybody played a huge part in the win, and to go down to the wire and to do it in the manner we did was very special. Gives us great belief moving forward, and just a stunning 4 days.
The performance has started right from the off with the partnership of Hassan Azad and Ben Slater at 1 and 2. But let's just talk about Ben Slater a bit in a bit more depth. Obviously, it was his debut coming in on an initial 2-week loan as well to post 172 against the Lancashire side. You can't wish of a more better debut, could you?
Yeah, tremendous. Fortunately for Ben, he knows Tommy Taylor very well. He knows Will Davies very well. He used to live with Will Davies for Derbyshire. Tommy's one of his best friends. So, he came into an environment that he knew people. It got him relaxed straight away. He talked about a couple of things in his game to keep an eye on. And the way he went about his business from ball one was exemplary, really. Him and Hassan complemented each other well. We know what Hassan's like. He just... damage limitation is wonderful. And Ben, as soon as the ball was a bad ball anyway, he put it away. He wanted to bat big. He'd done that, funnily enough, for Derbyshire very early in his career. He got 100. I think his second game for Notts he got 100, and for us he got 100 on debut as well. So, it just shows that when you focus on the right things for long periods, special things can happen. And their opening partnership really, built the foundations to our win. And way he played, his career best was about 120 odd before then, and he was going into new territories, and the way he played was just like a senior pro. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, you saw the words right out of my mouth there. He really set some concrete foundations for the people in the lower order to come in and post some meaningful scores to try and put Lancashire under the cosh. Later on in the tie, obviously, Ackerman came in and posted a 94 alongside him. So, as I say, some really concrete foundations laid for his teammates to come in and perform without pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the key was, to get the ball soft and to stop the new ball hurting our middle order, and that's exactly what they did. Protected that new ball. The ball got much softer. It didn't do a great deal apart from spin a little bit out the rough. And that allowed the middle order to come in and express themselves. We were really keen to try and get the 350 in 110 overs where we can get the points, the extra batting points. We just failed to do that. But then when we failed to do that, Colin Ackerman was risking everything to try and get us to that score. Very selfless run out in the end. Very, very tight decision, which went the wrong way. But the way we played there, down the order, Dieter Klein, Tommy Taylor, Ben Mike, George Rhodes, all were very, very selfless, and tried to push hard for that 350, the extra batting point. We just fell short, but we knew that anything over 400 was a good lead, and we knew we'd put them under pressure from there. And that's exactly what we did. We looked at the first, option A, trying to get that 350. If it was going to be too close, and we were losing too many wickets, and we were just behind the 8 ball, then we made sure we went for the 400, and it was about going for the win.
And then the bowlers obviously came in, and they had to match the intensity, the quality that the batsmen did in their innings. And obviously, first and foremost, bowling Lancashire out twice in a game is some feat.
Yeah, we talk about persistence and just doing our basics relentlessly. And the way, Chris Wright, Tommy Taylor came out in the second innings with attacking fields, bowling at 2 and over, 1.5 and over, taking wickets and asking questions every ball was just exactly what we needed. It kept the momentum, it kept the belief in the dressing room, it kept it with the lads, outside. It just kept everybody believing that, they weren't going anywhere, they weren't getting away from us. We were holding the game. We knew that if we bowled so well, something had to give. And, Righty was world class. It really was. 21 overs, I think 2 for 38, 39 was something. And then, backed up by Callum Parkinson, who had, a game to remember.
Yeah, if we could touch on Parkinson a bit more, obviously he posted match figures of 43.5 overs for 62 runs and 5 wickets as well. Obviously he didn't play that much red ball cricket last year, so for him to come out and perform like this on the first day of the 2020 season is incredible.
Yeah, what he wants wickets that can turn a little bit. At Grace Road over the last few years, it hasn't turned as much. This was a pitch that was quite dry. It was prepared for a warm-up game, a practice game that wasn't played on about 10 days or so before the season. So it was a nice opportunity for Parky to bowl. It was a tough team to pick. Aaron Lilly's been bowling well and batting well. Gavin Griffiths has been bowling well as well for the seamers. So, Will Davies has bowled beautifully. It was a really tough team to pick. Callan's been in the good players. Jigger Naik, our spin bowling coach, has worked wonders with Callum and Aaron Lilly, and they're both in a really good play. So we're very fortunate that way, and they've all worked hard on their fitness. But Parky was, he had to hold in the first innings. That was his holding job. He didn't turn that much, and we knew that if he held it in the first innings, he'd get his rewards in the second innings. But he just held the game to left and right handers. He bowled beautifully. His pace, his variation. His fields were very good. And, when I first came to the club, I heard a lot about this young lad, Parkinson, who gets in the battle, who really enjoys, being a fox and a big part of the dressing room. And now I think, he's really, really flourishing. And, since he had a lot of hardship with his mum dying, passing away last year, Callum, earlier on this year, he's just come back just on a mission, and his fitness has lifted, his sprints, he's changed his running technique, his actions tweaked. He's just been an exemplary pro, and he's getting his just rewards for his hard work.
Colin Ackerman now obviously leads from the front in most games anyway. Tended to do so again today, but aside from the cricketing prowess, it was his first fixture as the official club captain of Lancashire County Cricket Club. Obviously performed really well throughout his decision making, his proactiveness to change the field mid-over, so on and so forth. How do you think he performed on that level?
As a captain, he was outstanding. The way he goes about his business is a very calm, balanced, calculated man who doesn't make rash decisions. Everything's thought through thoroughly. And Ackers is a consistent pro, on and off the field, and he has the respect of the players first and foremost. He speaks brilliantly. He leads from the front with his fitness and his actions and his game. Having him around at Leicester this winter was a well-needed break from cricket that he needed. Not to go back and play matches, just to focus on his fitness, just to work on his technique and fine-tune a few things with his hips and his pre-ball movement. He just lost a little bit of that as the season kept going on. He bought into what we talked about, which is wonderful, and we're going to see the fruits of that. And we've always known that Colin's an international player. When he plays well, he's an international player, and his 90 in the first innings was magnificent. Everybody else struggled to time the ball. He flowed from ball one, and then the run chase yesterday was just, it was men and boys. He was playing a different game. It really was. His decision making, his execution under pressure, the way he kept the other guy at the other end going and kept him calm was just, what you want from your senior pros. And we got our just rewards, a so-so place for him. Quite an emotional evening in the lads' side, because we've worked so hard, and it just puts a great benchmark to what we're about moving forward.
Yeah, we've seen some quite outstanding performances from Ackerman throughout the years. Obviously, the 94 and the 73 not out from 41 balls in a second against Lancashire. These are the sort of performances we're just coming to expect from them now, aren't they?
Yeah, he's got the ability to change the game from anywhere. You know, he plays spin, I think, as well as anybody I've ever seen. He sweeps the ball so hard. He hits the ball on top of the bounce through the offside. You know, he's high class. He's 73 or 41 balls under pressure where Lancashire tried to hide the ball. You know, it's not like a one-day game, a T20, where anything down leg side is a wide. You know, he had to think about where the balls are going to go, about their options, if they're going to try and hide the ball down leg side or wide outside off stump. You know, his decision making, his execution. You know, if people can get a hold of any highlights and see it, it was really outstanding. And him playing so well gives great belief to other people. You know, George Rhodes. We wanted to look at a left and right hander opening the batting because there's always a short boundary one side for someone. George Rhodes came out and played really positively from ball one and hit a great couple of boundaries. There's certainly one brilliant boundary I remember, and his running between the wickets was fantastic. It just sent a message from ball one that we're actually going to chase this down, and Lancashire felt that pressure and felt what we're about. And you know, their field setting was challenged. Their fields were challenged. We looked to push so many twos that probably were only 1.5, but we created fumbles. And you know, our running between the wickets was outstanding, and all that led to you know, Harry Dearden coming in and playing some really powerful, strong reverse sweeps that he's hit so many balls this winter, reverse sweeping and tweaking his technique. A couple of brilliant sort of slog sweeps and power hitting, where I hit the ball. Probably, I think it was still going up as it went out the ground. It nearly would have landed in the river if the hotel hadn't got in the way of the top tier of the hotel. So it's just wonderful as a coach when you see these guys flourish and all the hard work they've put in, hitting balls, getting fit when they were furloughed. And you know, it would have been easy not to push hard, but they've all pushed hard, and we're just getting our just rewards now.
Yeah, you've also just alluded to the sort of tactical approach you took to the run chase, but as a person, not as a head coach, as a person, how are you feeling heading into those final 17 overs emotionally?
We knew that there was a short boundary one side, and we knew we had to believe it. For me, I had something to resort back to. I had, you know, 1998, we got 200 off 19 and a bit overs against Northampton, and it was exactly the same. Such a hard-fought day. We to get 20 wickets, you know, the way Benny Mike got his wickets as well was the icing on the cake to get 20 wickets on that wicket. We knew that Lancashire was an inexperienced attack. We knew that we had the firepower to, realistically, we needed to get 12, 13 boundaries to get the deficit. But we knew we had the power to do that. And there's a lot of twos. If they went slightly on the negative side, there's a lot of twos. The fielders were out on the boundary everywhere, which they did in the end. And, you know, it became a 20-20 match, and it became smart cricket. And, you know, getting those boundaries was crucial. Harry Dearden and Ackers towards the end got the boundaries. The longer we kept the game out there, the longer we got close, the more the tables turned for the bowlers, the more it makes them under pressure. They've been on their feet for a long time, and they were getting tired as well, emotionally drained. They had 3 debutants. So, you know, we knew it wasn't an international team that we were playing against. They were full of international stars. You know, it was like us. It was a lot of journeyman pros and youngsters who were being challenged, and we knew we had the belief to win the game. And if we kept our calm, executed well, then we would get very close, and we did that.
And of course, now we head into a top of the table clash at the Fisher County Ground on Saturday against Derbyshire. I don't think anyone would have thought that at the beginning of the week. What are your initial thoughts heading into that one?
Well, Derbyshire have just come off the back of a brilliant win, you know, so we have to respect them. We start again fresh. We had a wonderful night last night. The guys had to drive back, but we stayed in the dressing room for a while. had some great chats, talked about our learnings and moving forward. The guys are going to have a day off today, and then we have a great session in the gym on Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, and we start again, and we build for Derbyshire. So we have to respect them. They've got some good players. The captain, Billy Godleman, has been a good pro. Hudson Prentice had a good game. So yeah, we've got to be on our mettle. We've got to play well. Something that we talked about on our new journey as running foxes. We're running forward, moving forward. We know we've got to keep learning, and we want to be the academy of cricket as far as always learning. And Derbyshire, we can't take them lightly. We've got to make sure that we do all our preparation. We've got a brilliant backroom team, and a lot of bowlers did a lot of hard work, so we have to look at their bodies as well. But we know we'll be confident going in. We're going to make Grace Road a fortress moving forward, so it's crucial we do that. And we're just so pleased for our friends and families and the Leicester supporters and the members that have sent some brilliant messages over the last few days and supported us really well, and it means a great deal.